Alright folks, welcome to this Diamond game review, and as I mentioned in the full video that I linked, um, I'm going to do an actual review on this game so we can see what everyone made a mistake on, including myself most specifically. Um, the last video I uploaded had, just from my perspective, my Place TV recording. This we're diving into the actual LoL recording so we can see exactly what's going on at pretty much every step of the game. So let's turn off Fog of War. We'll turn it back on at some points, but let's turn off Fog of War, and if we actually do our Fog of War right here, we see that we're not warded, but Jin was standing in a pretty okay spot, and he get flash hooked. I'd say not that risky. I don't like using wards level 1 as a support because they're super duper important. They really help you gain your lane dominance early, especially against someone like Thresh. You can't have him just sit in a bush and you sit there blind. I didn't want to start with Stopwatch. I wanted to start with Biscuits, but it ended up being okay, I guess. So this game we started going 1-17 to begin, and we're going to be down gold the entire game. Most of this win, I think, honestly comes from just us having a lot of range and us having E. I mean, just at the end of the day, sometimes some champions are stronger than others. Just how it is. So they have a auto-attacking bar top. It sounds troll, but his damage is pretty unreal as a support, and it can get pretty insane once you put items on him. I'll show you the damage meters at the end of the game. Camille mid, it's uncommon, but people are putting bruisers in mid to sort of combat the assassins right now in this meta. And Jin Xerath, which is one of the most fun lanes to play against and very abusive to play against, especially if you don't have a sustaining support. And Yi in the jungle just jungling away. So let's turn off Fog of War again. My goal here as Xerath support is to pretty much put a lot of pressure with damage. Thresh is looking for openings to get in on, like that, and he's not really going to find them with this against this comp. Oh, he shouldn't, at least. If we play in the proper position, he shouldn't really be able to get that opening. So here we see Yi came bot, which is pretty surprising for a Yi jungle. They usually want to farm pretty heavily early on. Man came top, but Kled is relatively safe. He's just hunting for the scuttle now. And I've just been poking down Xayah and Thresh. Jin's about half health. I'm pretty but Xayah's 40%, Thresh is like 75. But I'm just going to be using my passive. You see I'm already back up to like 15% mana, 20% mana. That's 15. Just because I'm just trying to abuse my passive as much as possible. Here's Jarvan ganking top. So we're not warded, but we see Jarvan up top, and we know we have plenty of time. So Jin misses his snare. And again, so I have to auto-attack. My passive's up again, so if you're going to watch, I'm going to try and auto-attack. And I don't like doing it like that because I end up fucking up the CS for the 80 carry. So I really do try and be mindful of that. And it's not that we're good dodging his hooks. He's just probably just getting flustered right now and just not hitting great ones. He does quite a bit better with them later. Okay, so now... Okay, so this is an important point to watch in the game. So right now, you have the bottom lane at 15%. You have us relatively healthy. We have Thresh Flash down, but we have Ignite, Xayah Flash, and Heal Up. All 4 of our sums are up. We don't have combat sums. I take Barrier, just because I'm generally not going to be in range for an effective Ignite or Exhaust or anything like that. So we know Jarvan's still up top, because he's just been coming back and back and back to Kled. Kled is super low. Kled's probably going to die here. and mid is pretty even. So if we look at CS, we're up in CS mid, we're up in CS top, but you know that's they've just been fighting. Jungle CS is even, we're up a little bit of CS bottom lane. And we're set up to dive for an easy double kill. We have Yi who can reset on his Q. I can pull tower aggro and barrier a bunch of damage. We have heal and flash. Alright, let's see what happens. So there's Yi. He just accidentally showed. He showed again. Alright, let's go back a second. Let's slow this down. So we see Yi kind of messing around up there. He shows twice. Now it's important to pay attention right here to see exactly why we get messed up. And this single mistake honestly may have cost us the game if we didn't have an okay enough team comp to get back to it. And this single mistake kind of did a bad snowball that got kind of out of control. And we ended up managing the snowball, but I mean, this game would have been 10,000 times easier if we didn't make this one mistake. And I'm not trying to call out the Jhin here. You know, it happens. We all make mistakes. I've missed so much shit in this game. It's pretty ridiculous. But the most important part is, besides for you know, an initial, you know, what the hell, everyone kind of moved on, and we tried to stay positive. And I think that was a big part of why we won. We just played the game, didn't try and surrender, and kept going. Okay, so right here, Jhin has his 4th auto. Let me move the chat. If I can move the chat. I can't move the chat right now. Okay, Jhin has his 4th auto primed. He's energized. And I think he really just wants to flash auto, because Xayah's heal and her flash is down. So I think he just wants to flash auto and move on. But Thresh is just buttload of CC. This is a level 3 Jhin against the tower. And look, he gets a little overzealous here, and I maybe should have just like auto-attacked down this creep. I guarantee you Jhin didn't, because he just wanted to save that 4th auto. Won't get stuck in a reload and just won't have a weaker auto. So I probably should have like nuked down this creep here, or maybe the creeps before. I have my Q up, I have my stun up, but my W is down. I think I probably thought my Q would be able to snipe them safely, stun, and then get out of tower range. So here we go. Jhin walks in just walks straight up to tower. At the very least, he could have taken aggro, because then this minion would have died. You would have alpha striked. Actually, he probably would have gotten hooked, taken down to like 40% health, then alpha striked, lose turret aggro. By the time Jhin and I would make it up there with the creeps. So Jhin takes a shot, hits the tower. So he should have, I think he should have just targeted champs if you have that selected. If you look right here, my mouse cursor turns red, and that's because I have a keybind for target champions only. So maybe he should have done something like that. But he hits the tower and flashes into the tower, so he can't flash out, and he's going to take 2 shots. Gets ignited, auto attacked. E comes in with an alpha off the bat, even you know, without taking any tower aggro. Gets hooked immediately. I land my W, but I don't have anything to follow up with. So I have to barrier and flash in order to not give him a triple. So that puts us 1,100 gold behind, because at the same time, then top dies. He got dove, and I suppose if you guys want to see that, let's just go back a second. He was just getting constantly ganked and reganked and beaten down, and then he just dies back there. Mid does a 10 health club at 16 health. Orianna's actually doing pretty decent this game. So she's up 6 CS, forced to flash. Her flash is down though. Ignite against TP, she should back and be able to TP back to lane. So we're down 3 kills, 1,200 gold. I'm staying just to sort of wait it out and just back when they back, get some XP, because I don't want to lose. It'd be good for Jin to get a bunch of XP, but I don't want to, you know, just keep falling behind in XP and gold. So I waited out a little bit, backed around the same time as they did, get my items. Bard is back. Cled's under tower, just trying to get plates, I guess, is his strategy. And Bard's abusing him. He hits 6. Van is back, farming the jungle. We're up a little bit of CS mid, jungle, top, and bot. So we're up. Honestly, CS is probably what keeps us relatively in the game in terms of gold. We don't get any kills, so my damage is extraordinarily minimal in this game. You know, I couldn't go on early death cap or anything like that. And Kled being the lunatic he is fighting level 6 to his level 5, because Bard's level 6 isn't really a combat thing. But Kled's not warded, so he's just gonna get dived again. Not dived, just ganked. Ulted, EQ, there you go. Another death on Kled. So now here we are back mid, we're back bot. Thresh chills over here and tries to do hook. It's a pretty cheeky thing that some Blitzcranks and Threshes do. Pyke can't reach effectively with his hook, so it's not a good spot for Pyke. But those other two, it's pretty good. This E is actually ganks a lot for being a E. Most E's just want to farm. But this guy farms pretty well while ganking. Now he's seen right now by this ward. As he's taking Scuttle. And Jarvan's up top doing their red after ganking top again. So, and they can't see us right now while Yi does Dragon. I think another big thing that helped us out was Yi securing the neutrals. Big bonus to Yi for that. Because the Dragon helps us out where the gold, you know, where we're lacking golden items to keep us relatively in fighting shape. So he's up in CS, top's up 20 right now, mid's up 12, bottom is evening out. I mean, we just don't have the pressure anymore where she has a BF and a longsword and we just have a pickaxe. You know, I've only got pretty much the upgraded support item. So the goal is roughly the same as early. For us, the goal is the same right now as if like we were level 2, 3, even. Just keep poking them down. So here, Yi gets caught out after Dragon. Flashes a stun. I mean, that was an OKW. Orianna misses her ult. That would have been, at the very least, gotten the kill and potentially saved Yi and not gotten killed herself. Because now she's dead. So here we move up trying to help, because we didn't, at least I don't remember really noticing them fighting until they started dying, because we were sort of focused on our own thing. So here we are getting collapsed on. I managed to get a kill. Die. So now we're 1 and 8, down 3,000 gold almost. Zaya's 202, and if we check out the gold, Zaya has 3,500, Unjin's 2,700. So me and Thresh are pretty even, just because I got a kill and he only has assist. But Zaya's up almost 1,000 gold on Jin, and now she's ahead in CS. So we're good in CS everywhere else, but Zaya is up in CS against Jin. So we're kind of boned here. We both got 6 at the very least. My ult is up just because I didn't ult in that last fight. I believe I was still 5 when that fight was happening. Kled's trying to make it out. He's almost got his mount. I think they're trying to plan something cheeky right here. But Orianna doesn't have her ult, and just, you know, they just got levels and items on us. Van is now 5-0. 4,300 gold to Yi's 2,900. So 1,400 gold difference there in the jungle, which is pretty big. It lets him move around and fight a lot easier. And now Yi's kind of pincered right here. Again, the Yi trying to gank a lot, which is great, but at the same time he's kind of doing what all other Yis are, you know, probably hate to do, which is just to gank. Most Yis just want to farm, get to like 6 items, and just, you know, 1v9 one-shot everyone. This guy's just, he's just a fighter. It's good for him, I like it. And same thing with Kled. The dude just keeps going in, 0-3, trying to fight. He knew Man was up there because they just killed E, and he's still not really warded. 0-4 now. Still up 15 CS, but I mean that's not doing much. It's down 400 gold. Selena stunned, Lana snare, but I mean that should be chunking him quite a bit more. But he's got his little Kindle gem, he's got his pots, and we have pretty much nothing. I have Sorcerer's Shoes. The early pen is super duper good on Xerath. So if you end up on if you first back, I usually try and either get boots or amp tome with a bunch of other stuff. So that was a bad face check by me. I should have W'd. I pretty much, if I cast any spell into the bush, I would have known she's there. But I mean, she's just doing so much damage right now. Mid game Xayah with her attack speed, her damage, and her ult makes her very slippery, and makes her do a ton of damage. And so we're just honestly just gonna kind of get rolled in every spot. They're using their gold to their advantage, and we have kind of a really wonky team comp. Like, sorry to interrupt in the middle of a fight, but if you look at their team comp, very, very, very clear sort of combo. Bard ults us, that allows Jarvan to run up, flash ult, EQ ult, EQ flash ult. There's just so many combos for Jarvan. Then Thresh and Camille walk in. Camille maybe peels the back line or peels the front line for Xayah, or gets on our back line. Thresh peels or gets on our back line, and Xayah just sits in the back, just shredding everybody. You know, we kind of have, I guess our combo would be Jhin and I just literally just sitting in the back, just disengaging and poking them down, because they have all in with like the Bard and the Jarvan. But if they're just kind of like feeling us out and we're fighting around mid, let's say, we'll be disengaging and poking them out before they have any chance to go in. They don't have Soraka, they don't have Nami, no Lulu, Karma, Sona, no one to really out-sustain all the damage you do. There's going to be the Bard, like little health orbs, but those have long cooldowns. He's not going to support or really AP. It's not going to count for much. So our sort of win condition would be Jhin and I poke them down, and then Kled going in there with an Orianna ball with his ult. So Kled ults with an Orianna ball. She pops her ult when he gets in the middle of them, and then Yi will come in like here and flank everyone and just 1v5. We don't really get to that stage just because we're playing from so far behind. So we're down 6,000 gold now. Yi's dead. And look at Kled, the lunatic. 0-4 and still fighting. I respect his guts though. But he dies. Honestly, if he wasn't 0-4 or Bard didn't have a couple kills, like, it would have been pretty easy. But you see the Bard's damage isn't, it's not something to laugh at. It's not quite the troll pick that it seems. So it looks like they were trying to set up a dive bot, but Jhin disengages. Dragon's coming up, so I'm trying to sweep, push our creeps up, maybe set up some wards. I guess I don't set up any wards. Get a plate or two. We're really scrounging for as much gold as we can get. Right now, any objective is worth almost any amount of deaths, because we're already so far behind. And any kills we can get is pretty much worth like 2 kills. If you look, everyone except for Thresh has a bounty. Zaya's probably worth like 2 or 3 of our deaths. Jarvan's is definitely worth 3 deaths. Like it's just by the time we end a team fight, you know, if we lose all 5 but we get 3 of theirs, is super duper worth it for us. So now they're just getting turrets. Let me go back a little bit. So they're pushing turrets. Bard's kind of zoning, and Klett's kind of farming up there. Orianna, she probably wasn't expecting the creeps to get shredded like that. She had a pretty good ult right there, but this is sort of where we start making our comeback in terms of probably the comeback in our morality. So she definitely looks like she's about to die here. Camille is going to dodge everything, only to get, you know, 1v4 under the tower. We're Jin and I trying to make something happen with our ults. Our synergy on our ults is really, really good. But in this case, nothing really comes out of it. Kled has a good ult and escapes yet another gank. So Jarvan's been up top pretty much this entire time, just top and top river. That's all he's really needed to be. 7 deaths, I believe 2 were from Yi and 5 were from Kled. So I mean, he's been doing his job up top. But Kled's still up in CS, Yi's still up in CS, Orianna's still up in CS. We're only down 20 CS bot. Between Jin and I, though, like we're ahead in CS from the total bottom lane, just not the two, or not Jin versus Camille individually. So we actually get another kill here. Kled's lunacy finally pays off with a good bait into the mount. Good players will know exactly how to bait people with their mounting system. Alright, so he dodges the knock up there. And you see, if Jarvan just wasn't so ahead, or if he wasn't so behind, that would have been another kill. At least a 1-for-1. But he uses his dismount. You can go over walls in your dismount. So I don't have my ult up. It's still another 30 seconds, and it's just as a thing with Xerath. When you see someone low, really far away, you just want to get in range of your ult. He ends up getting 1,000 right there, going 1-for-1, and then Orianna and I come to clean up. And it's these, they're sort of playing a little bit out of place, super duper arrogant, because they're up, you know, 17 kills. They don't think they're going to lose. And you make little mistakes like that, and us just capitalizing on them. And as I said earlier, pretty much any time we go 1-for-1 is super duper worth it for us. If we go 1-for-2, it's probably worth it depending on who we kill. And if we go 3-for-1, or I guess 1-for-3, then it may still be worth it. It would have been worth it if 3 of us died for Jarvan dying. If the money went on Jin or Yi, probably. But Yi got him 1v1. So, I mean, that was super worth it for us. And if we look at the gold right now, I'm down 400, which is not that bad. Jin's down 2,600, which is quite a lot for AD carry. AD carries are pretty much built on their items. They don't really do much else. Orianna's down 600. Yi's down 1,300. But Kled is actually up 600, 700. Just because he's up in CS and, you know, the shutdown. The shutdown golds are nothing to be sort of scoffed at. And just because Kled's kit is so damn good, I mean, and he's keeping up in levels, he's actually able to fight pretty decently, even though he's 1-6. Secret OP is Kled. So we know Jarvan's low, and we know Dragon's up in 15 seconds. So we're trying to make a dragon play here. And as I said earlier, Dragon is pretty much what's keeping us in the game right now. We have double Infernal and no one really has gold or items other than Kled. So it's keeping us in the game. So Kled ults, Xayah ults, and we're all just trying to dump everything to kill Xayah. Jarvan comes in the backline on Yi. So I make a pretty big mistake here. You can't really tell. Actually, maybe you can, right here. So we're setting up for the fight here. I'm trying to poke them down. Jin and I doing a little job poking. So Kled sees Xayah alone and goes in. I try and follow up with that. I should have probably gone around here, around the back side of this wall, over to here, while Jin ults back there, just because that's better positioning for me. I'll be out of range, but I'll be able to like go in and out of range a bit easier. Right now I'm in a really sort of threatened spot in terms of slow, immobile support. So we're trying to land everything on Xayah, not seeing our flank by Thresh and J4. J4 pretty much is soloing Yi, and here I remember losing sort of track of my character. I have to land stuff just by kind of luck, but I do distinctly remember losing track of my character. That's right around when I gained track of my character again. I just hit spacebar, see where I am, and then quickly just, you know, snap reaction, try and stun the Xayah. So Xayah uses a lot, and we end up going 0 for 1 that fight. And then this secondary fight happens. We get hooked, we flash and heal, then Jin gets a kill. All the while they've been doing dragon. So we're trying to contest this dragon here. I just charged my Q, so I couldn't try and Q steal it. And I just dropped my spells to sort of hope they disengage off us, because Skarl is nowhere to be up for Kled. But look at this guy, he's a goddamn lunatic. This is all just trying to keep Man off, and I didn't see Camille over on the side. So Jin and I just go into a bad position. And this is all just baiting to rebait and rebaits. And J4 had a flag down here. Let's play. So here we go. Back to the fight. Get caught out. So pay attention to J4's flag where it is right now. So we push up. He knows his Q's back up. Same flag. Goes in for another kill. He ends up getting something. He ends up getting another. Super worth it for Yi. And I don't really have vision here, so it's very hard to land your ult as Xerath with no vision. Let's switch to our Fog of War. So if you see, his ult gives you vision for just a second to see where the next one is, but it's hard to predict people's gait and the direction they're walking with pretty much zero vision. So down now 4,000 gold. We were up a little bit just because we got a couple like 800,000 gold shutdowns. So those are kind of inflating our gold, but we're sticking relatively in. Yi's still up in CS. Pretty much everyone's up in CS except for Jin. He's down to 3,000 gold. That's pretty much our only deficit. Everyone else is relatively in the same ballpark. Kled is up 300. Yi's down 600. Thresh and I are even. Orianna is only down 200. I mean, those are pretty negligible numbers. That 3,000 deficit is pretty much on the 80 carries. But the thing is, Xayah's so slippery, and she's such a great team comp. So there goes Kled ulting her. Bar TPs. And he should have just run away. And I go to try and help him, miss my stun, and then I just get fucking And then Kled dies too. So we still, I mean, that was a big mistake on my end. I shouldn't have come and help him. If I stayed here, we might have had a better, might have been able to poke them down and either have them disengage off of Orianna or save her. Yi goes in, and they end up going 1 for 2. Which again, actually, well, they killed Camille earlier, so I guess that was a 2 for 2. But we're down 4, they're down 2 at the end of the day. I'd say that's still worth it, just because we're so far behind. If we didn't have towers and stuff, it wouldn't be worth it. But the towers help us bait and get little kills like that. And that's the Jhin Xerath synergy right there. You just engage out of nowhere and kind of get a kill. Because Jin's ult can force people to stand still as walls. And if you move around behind the person trying to block the Jhin ults for you, it's very easy for me to hit my ult. So I'll hit my ult while Jhin misses his, or Jhin will hit his ult while I miss mine. That was kind of a stupid clear on my end. I didn't go all the way enough the first time, and then I double backed as the ward came down. I could have died very easily. I don't think it was worth just to get that little heal out of the way either. So I'm kind of just trying to keep vision, clear vision. So let's see. Our gold items are about the same. The coin start is the fastest way to get gold and finish the quest. And Ego's 1 for 1. Super worth it. Kind of bad TP on... Well, let me slow this down. Alright. Bad TP on Orianna's part, just because she has to instantly flash, or else Bard ult and Thresh Hook will get her. I ult when the tower is not taking any damage, just to clear the creeps and push them off. Like, we want to give Kled time to split, stop the backs, and just me ulting is a safe way to clear minions, keep the tower alive, keep them from backing, give them damage, just do a whole bunch of stuff. So they're up. They have 1 Infernal to R2. Dragon's up again, and they get it. Ocean is pretty good for them in this comp, because our goal is to just, you know, poke them down. And if they're dodging between our pokes, they can just heal that damage back up. Kled's still splitting 1 and 8, but he's up 60 CS, which is pretty great for him. Kled is a really, really good duelist, so I'm sure he's happy to just fight people as much as he can. Ults away, pretty safe, gets us the tower, and they don't get our tower, and he went 1v1, so, you know, we're doing good, we're doing well, as well enough as we can, and we're still down 3,000 gold. Most of that, again, is on Xayah. I just did a dumb mistake and just walked over here when I knew they were all top. So if you look, we knew they were all top, and we were kind of setting up. I got too excited, so I just walked into the back position and blew my barrier. I shouldn't have blown my barrier. So I die. Flash hook wasted. Thank the Lord. If you look at E, he went skirmishers into Deadmans into Ginsu. So he got the early Deadmans just to fight, because he was really dually. I bet just to fight Camille and Jarvan. I don't think he really wanted to fight Xayah that much, but it helps with her either way. So Kled fights again in a bad spot. Force a flash, gets Bard ulted. We're all kind of in bad positions. We had them in like a chokehold, in a little chokehold spot. If I was alive, I would have been pretty good, just because those sorts of spots are like Xerath's bread and butter. And I'm back up. I have my ult up, but I don't really have anyone to use it on right now. And then I notice Camille fighting E, so then I pop my ult. So E gets her 1v1, and I would just be here to sort of give Yi moral support and make Jarvan sort of misstep. The thing with Xerath ult is that even if you miss it all, if you make people panic, stand around, and misstep, that can be just as good as, ulting them. You slow them down, maybe slow them to back, get objectives while, they're dancing around, or push them to get killed by your teammates instead of just you. So Jarvan escapes into a place with no vision, but his GA gets blown, super worth for us. But then Xayah comes and shreds us. Sort of three for GA, which isn't worth. If we kill Jarvan, I'd still say it's worth, but it wasn't worth. Kled ults, but not far enough. Still lands it on her and gets her shut down. So now we're getting into the realm of worth on that fight. Jarvan's still pretty huge with 13 kills, and yet still down in CS. He's just been ganking a lot, and Yi went straight for QSS. I think he's just tired of being CC chained, and knows if he can get resets and Alpha strikes off, then he'll be good. Orianna in a bad spot. Ends up blowing her ult and dying. So, I mean, we do quite a bit of that, and they're pretty overconfident, though. So they make plays off of our stupidity, and we make plays off their overconfidence. That's pretty much this whole game. So they're trying to set up Baron, and they're doing a Baron bait. I think they could have just gone on Baron and had done it by now. Although Xayah was dead, so there goes her their big Baron shred. And we actually have a really bad team fight here. I was worried that the game might end here. So they're setting up for Baron. We're just trying to clear vision. We don't really have vision of Baron. I pop my ult just to see if we can get any vision on Baron. And if I waited a second, I might have seen Camille walk out there. I could have kept my ult. So we're just going to keep pushing forward. I guess the idea is if they're doing Baron, then we might as well get a tower. But then I see a bunch of them mid. So I go up toward it. I see it's pinked. And I have to take the long way back around to rendezvous with the team. So again, no vision. I'm just trying to poke them out. That's really the only thing we would do. Keep them off Baron, trying to poke them out. And Kled still is a nut job. Yi's back to farming because he's E. And we've successfully taken them off Baron, so we think. And they shift their focus over to Dragon up in 15 seconds. Another Ocean. Again, not the best in this scenario, but pretty good for them against our Poke comp. Kled looks like he's waiting to set up his ult, but they don't even go by him because they have the Bard Tunnel. Alright, so I think this might be the big Baron fight. So Thresh is trying to zone. They're on Baron. We get Bard ulted, but we dodge it. Kled ults, Jhin ults. Xayah's just trying to poke him down. And so we have Yi and Kled on their back line, and then we have the R3 back line, funny enough, on their front line. We blow everything on J4 and Camille, try and kill them. Camille escapes. But we end up going Yi for 3. They get Baron. I'd say this is a pretty even trade. But they end up getting Baron on 2, which isn't ideal, but it's not the end of the world considering where we've been. I managed to hit a clutch explosive plant to prevent myself from getting killed. Kled, I think, is just running around trying to bait Camille or someone to fight him because he's almost fully mounted up again. And now Dragon's up, and we can shift focus over to Dragon. So that Baron fight actually wasn't the Baron fight I was talking about. we were doing okay um, in that fight, and we actually I think came out ahead. I think getting this dragon and pushing up a little bit, I think it ended up being about an even trade for us. Still down 3,000 gold, and it's pretty much on Jin to Zaya, about 3,500 gold difference there. Up a dragon, but it's crazy. We're down half their kills, 18 to 36, down 18 kills. We're only down 3,000 gold. It's mostly the 80 carries. Yi's going kind of tanky, so he's getting Drum's Fist, probably going to Hysterics. I'm building somewhat standard. So right here we're just trying to fend. If we need to keep towers at this point, and now it's really important that we don't lose any more towers. Sort of Zaya's in a bad position, and we end up killing her just between my ult and poke, and then it's Kled engage. So there goes his GA again. Kled gets the remount. And Yi going on Thresh, popping his QSS. Probably not worth it for Yi, but you know he's probably angry and wants to send him a message. Camille doing raids for some reason, and then backing. Maybe she had an item she could buy. So on their Baron, we end up getting towers, which is super duper good. We get an inhibitor. And this is all just because Zaya back there was in bad positioning. She was standing over here away from her team, allowed me to ult her, and then have Kled moving on her. And now Yi getting overconfident, sitting there for that tower. They came in with Baron creeps and just ignited and shredded him. But as I was saying, it's really important for us to keep towers now, just because we're at the point of the game where if we lose a team fight, we need a stall so we can respawn. And they're so far ahead that if we lose a team fight, they might just be able to end the game. So Jarvan flash ults, Orianna's Banshees, Bard ults Jin's ult, Kled goes in like a lunatic, flashes, I try and ult to clean up, Jin gets the kill on my ult damage, running around this fourth auto, Zaya getting out, pretty much no health. And so I didn't have vision here, so I went down thinking she went down. But Jin ends up getting her with the W. Jarvan's sort of backing, confused as to where to back. Thresh is clearing wards, and we're pushing to get top. So we don't know when we can push. We can't, like, Kled can split well enough, but they can sort of move around pretty well. I was hunting for Jarvan. It was actually smart of me. But then they come up top. If you see, Jarvan's Conqueror hit and almost killed Jin. So we're trying to hustle and make some things happen. Burn both of our TPs to get that inhib. That was probably pretty worth it. So right here, I'm walking in front of Jin to make a noble sacrifice as support. See if I can try and get out, but then they all spawn and come up, and I kind of blow everything. But it was important for me to do that just to keep Jin alive and let him farm up. I'm so far... Normally I get a lot of gold in games, even as support, but I'm so far behind that even though I'm up like 600 gold on Thresh, it's really not that much. And I'm building kind of weird for this game, so my damage is going to come super late anyways. It's best for me to just try and keep Jin alive. I mean, he was dumpstering that last fight with those fourth autos. And that's just going to be better than me poking them down. So we're sort of, you know, down 15 kills now. The gold is almost even. We're less than 1,000 gold difference now. back from like the 5,000 gold deficit. So even though we're down 15 kills, like if you just look at the CS alone, only Zaya's ahead, and we're getting plenty of objectives. And now Kled is trying to end the game um, by ulting mid and forcing them off of Elder, which is great because we get an uncontested Elder. And even though he's behind 3 and 10, they still need at least 2 for Kled. And now Elder's really, really good on us because between Mai and Jin's poke, we do true damage on our poke now. If you look at the Elder Dragon buff, we get that the Hand of the Dragon buff. And so we get to do true damage on our poke. So back to the Baron fight. We have to sort of get off it just because we can't burst it down. Jin's not a great Baron 80 carry. Thank God Thresh's hook hits Orianna. So this is the fight I was talking about earlier that I thought was earlier. So this is a really bad fight for us. We have Elder, which is great, but we're not really in a position to poke. We were on Baron and we're disengaging off Baron, and we're trying to poke them down on this side where we have no vision. So we're getting pincered back here. Jarvan is low health, and it kind of baits us to just fight him, but he does enough damage and will CC us long enough for his team to, you know, fill in the ranks and just fight us. So I'm going to slow it down. So he volcanoes us, and I miss a very crucial stun on Zaya. And if we look, she doesn't have QSS, so she's dead if I land that stun. But I miss it, and it kind of ruins our entire team fight because she dodges it, ults, kills Jin, Orianna gets hooked, gets killed, and I'm just getting shredded. Just because the way our team comp, or the way our items and stuff went. I'm Hourglass, they shift to Orianna. Orianna Hourglass, shift to Yi Alpha Strikes, and by that time my Hourglass is done. So they kill me. Orianna's Hourglass done, kill her. Yi is out of Alpha Strike, kill him. Maybe if Yi was full damage, he could have just shredded everybody. But the shift to tanky was pretty smart. So he went Titanic Hydra to do with what he could. But here we go. Now we have, little they know, we have super minions coming knocking with 2 super low towers. They do end up getting the Baron. Get the Baron back. Bard ults the tower to save it. Smart use of his ult on Bard. Because it'll probably be up by the time they need it again. So their inhib's up, and we have regular creeps knocking on that inhib. So they lose 1 tower. Now the pressure is sort of pushing on them now. We're still pretty weak to just walk in and end the game. But now they have to worry about, if they lose a team fight, then we can just go and end it. But Zaya pops Iron Potion, Iron Elixir, because she's 6 items, full build. I guess she doesn't need the extra AD. She just wants the extra safety of the potion. I need to get this chat window out of here. This is very annoying. So she's almost at 3,000 health, 150 armor, and 400 AD. Quite the formidable foe. But if you see, she has no MR. So Orianna and I should be shredding her. And I've got Leandries, so I should be shredding her extra. But, you know, she's actually still in a fairly safe position in these team fights. So our goal right now, I'm continuously telling our teams, like, okay, like, we got this, we're fine. Let's just go slow and steady. Because I believe if we went slow and steady, we could just poke them out and finish up the game. But my team has different plans. So he's going to try and split and push bot out. They're pushing mid. And Bard is top, dealing with the supers. So they're pushing in. We have just the Jin trap there. No real vision. I clear that just so they can't like one-shot someone and pop over with that, or someone accidentally hits it. So I had vision of them mid, so I came here. I knew they had warded, so I cleared their wards. I have 3 wards. I don't know why I'm not dropping them. That's a pretty big mistake. I should have put a ward at least in there. Maybe I just saw. So here Jarvan misses his EQ. So I poke. Jin hits a snare. I use my W to try and zone them. If they get hit by it, they take damage and get slowed. Or, you know, they have to move back. So either way, it's going to do its job of zoning. We all get out of range by the time Jarvan EQs. I don't think he just wanted to ult Kled, or his ult's down anyways. So they take a lot of collateral damage for taking that tower, which is already pretty low. I pop my ult, see if we can make anything happen. I missed most of them. I missed about half of them. E's lurking. He's looking for a chance to go in. Kled no ult. E no ult. Jin and I no ult. Orianna has ult though. None of their ults are up. So Bard's push ended up getting creeps into our base, and Yi is gonna go back to split bot. Let's speed this up a little bit. This part's kind of boring. It's Jin and I clearing. Usually we would give gold to the 80 carry, but I need gold and experience. I really need 16 just for the extra shot on my ult. So I'm trying to collect some gold, get some items, and hit 16. So Kled ults, tries to go for the lone Bard. Jin's in a really bad spot. I mean, I guess he saw Yi flanking, but he could have honestly gotten one shot. I don't think that was a wise spot. Let's see how fast. He QSS is about half a second. Maybe too slow. Still end up killing Xayah, which is pretty great. Getting flanked by Jarvan. This fight actually ends up doing very well for us. So I'm sitting in the back ulting. Jin has GA, is pretty safe. Kled has his mount. His mount dismounts for him. Jin gets Bard ulted. Kled's GA goes down as Jarvan comes up. I land a pretty good stun. Miss my W. But Jin's able to get the auto down. And then Kled gets his remount, which I think is why Camille went in. She thought he was just low. So Kled shreds Bard with his full health mount. Jin GA goes down, and then he and I get Thresh. I don't remember if Bard gets out of here alive or not. It looks like he does. So Bard gets out, and best thing to do is just take inhibs. So we come up, try and take inhibs. 4 still down. There's the ult. I get a good stun on Xayah, but I have to blow my flash. We at least get the inhib, and I gotta slow this way down because this is a pretty baller kill in my opinion. So remember when I said earlier about not having vision? So your ult gives you half a second of vision to really guess where they're gonna go next. So I'm over here, and there's Xayah. So I hit her down. I have 2 shots after my ult. 1 shot, she ults it. Now the thing with some ults is something like ults like that, or like a Talon jumping over a wall. You can tell mostly where they're gonna end up landing. So she ulted from around here, and I think she's gonna land somewhere around here. So, you know, make the dream shot at the perfect time, because you also have to time it right, because she's untargetable when she's in her ult. Not to toot my own horn, but that was a pretty good shot with the ult. And that gives us another minute on Xayah being down, so we can kind of figure out something else. Oriana's not just getting absolutely trounced by Jarvan ult, which is really great. Um, and he's still playing like a nut job. Um, I don't back or anything, so I'm kind of I give up a shutdown. Oriana instead, he's just like, you know what? Everyone's fighting. I'm gonna go up and take this last tower. So if you look down here, she's figuring out what to do. Should I go in? Should I back? No, I can get this tower. So we gotta slow this down too a lot. Bard sees that and he TPs instantly back up top to try and counter it. So he pops his TP on tower. It would have been smarter for him to pop it on the creep because the creep's gonna be immune and she doesn't have to, or he doesn't have to worry about the creep dying. He'll come here no matter what. But I think he must have just clicked on his map and that was just the only thing that it TP'd to. So Oriana was really pissed about this in chat. So let's see if it actually makes it, because she thinks that she kills the tower before he lands. She does kill the tower before he lands, but I guess it was in the last quarter second. So she ends up dying. That would have been the game. If that TP didn't go through, that would have been the game. Because we had supers to take care of the creeps, even though Oriana was low, and she would have just autoed the base down. So now Kled's like, oh, I might as well go too. And I told him I was paying just to kill the Bard, because he could just kill the Bard. But then Bard pops everything on him. We at least stop the Elder, because they're now forced back. And look, now Kled was just forced to kill the Bard anyways. I think if he just went in on the Bard immediately, he might have been able to kill base. But I don't think actually even then, because Xayah would have come up. But we get them off of Elder, which is sort of what we needed to do there as well. We got inhibs and 2 towers down. Baron and Dragon are up. Buffs are spawning soon. I think Jin just got our red. And, you know, we're at the point where almost the gold doesn't really make a difference anymore. We're still down 4,000 again, but, you know, big deal. At this point, everyone's coming in their, 6 items. I think I have 1,700, so I have enough for Void Staff, but I just never end up backing. Jin's got half an item to finish. Oriana's just sitting on control wards. Good for her, though, because I wasn't buying any. And Yi looks like he's going for the back door. I think we should have been contesting this dragon, but I just go and ward Baron. I think if you went all the way around to the far side, that would have worked out better. I ult Jarvan. I hit him mostly, but he's too tanky. So this is what I didn't want to do. They get a ZZ round up top. And I didn't want to just keep going one after another, try and kill their tower. If maybe we had like a Cass or a Tryndamere or someone that could just dance around the inhib, that might have been worth it. Maybe like a Udyr, but not like this one versus 5 gauntlet. That's not smart. So here we go. Kled's sort of fighting a little bit. It's pretty good to watch the Xayah die here. So they're kind of focused on Kled, not really on their jungle. So Xayah walks into our ward, hit her with a stun combo. Into my hourglass. Jarvan comes in, and at this point, there's just too much. We can actually survive their burst now and do pretty good damage back to them. So they see Kled walking up and popping his ult to go into their base, so they're trying to back very frantically. Oriana's job and I literally just stop their back. They're on a ward of ours. I just ult. Don't need to kill them. I just need to stop the backs. That's all I gotta do. Doesn't matter if we both die here. And that's it. Kled gets it. I mean, this is just like a never give up type scenario where no one really gave up. Everyone was doing their best, and you know, very very minimal flaming. I don't think anyone really talked shit to each other. The only thing I recall was Yi and I getting pissed at Jin for walking up to that tower. Like if he just waited 1.5 extra seconds, 2 seconds maybe, this game would have been very 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 different. Um, and let's see, if you look at the stats, if you look at the damage, um, I did 44,000, which is the most damage in the game, and that's just because you know our job was to poke. So I did 44,000 to Zaya's 41,000. Jin did 38,000 to Thresh's 9,400. So our bot lane, we're pushing over 80,000 damage, and theirs is only 50,000. J4 did about 5,000 more than E, 25 to 30. Oriana and Camille, very even. Kled actually did way less damage than Bard. I told you, Bard's damage was unreal, 42,000 damage. He was 13 to 1. He never died. He just couldn't lose. He couldn't lose the 1v1s. He just kept, crushing down Kled, and Kled couldn't do the damage to him. If you look at Bard's really wonky build, look at that. Bork, Wits End, Frozen Heart, Leandries, and Stinger. I mean, it was just built to sort of survive Kled's damage, reduce his, and just smack him back down. And but we did it. We did it with really wonky strategy, never giving up, and sort of sticking to the strategy of we just want to win and we'll play it out. A lot of people don't end up playing their games out, and they could lose. And I understand the logic's like, well, if you play more games, there's more chances to win. But in my opinion, you should just win every game, no matter how long it takes. I would have been there for 2 hours if we had to, but we were going to win that game. We're all pretty convinced, and we were ready to fight to win that game. So thank you for watching. I know this ended up being very, very long, but I hope you learned something. Um, as you can see, it's valuable to go over your own games and sort of see what you did wrong. But sometimes you don't know what you did wrong. I'm sure there's plenty of master and challenger players that saw a ton of micro and macro mistakes from myself and my teammates and the opponents as well. But that's how you learn. Um, Leave me a comment, give me a shout out, send me some games if you want me to go over them. Diamond support main, but I can sort of help out other people as well. But I think support position is where I can excel at any sort of helping out. Alrighty, thanks for watching. See ya.